Now, if you don't mind, I just want to talk about what we're doing right now. This groove has potential, okay? We can make this groove totally happening. Right now, it's an idea, okay? But we can fine tune it, and this is what rhythm sections do. So instantly now it starts sounding like music, right? Before it was kind of crazy and didn't really have any, it wasn't really saying anything. Now it's saying something. You see what I mean? So that's kind of like what the main goal is with the bass player and the drummer, is to create a groove and to come together and create fabric. Now, my shirt has a lot of small little tiny threads. But when you weave those threads together, it makes it real strong, right? But if you take it apart and make it to just one little thread, it tears very easily. So that's what the rhythm section is doing. It's weaving together the thin threads and making a strong fabric of music. Good example of what I'm doing here now. I'm not playing exactly what he's playing on the kick drum. I'm playing the... Okay? And he can play on the kick drum. He can go boom, 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 boom. He can play anything he wants, and I'm helping him because I'm playing steady time. Okay? So I'm just playing the steady pulse in the bass line, and then he can kind of improvise with the kick drum and do different things. We're not playing the exact same thing. I'm playing a repetitive line, and then he can come and go with the kick drum. Okay, so let's do that again. What's going on there is I'm playing double time the whole time, and he can come in and out with a halftime feel or the double time feel within his drum beat, and it all works because I'm the one who's holding it steady. I'm giving him more freedom. So that's the other thing that happens with the rhythm section, is that you're communicating back and forth, and one person is leading and the other is following. And sometimes this person is leading and the other is following. Sometimes you're together, like glue. Sometimes one person is leading and the other is following. In that particular one, I was staying home. We call it staying home. I was just playing boom, boom, ba-dum, bum, bum, dum, dum, ba-dum, dum, 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 ba-dum, dum, dum, dum. And he can come and go as he pleases with the drum beat. So I'm giving him more freedom, and I'm taking the discipline role. Now, another way that we can do it is for him to stay home and me have more freedom. So we'll demonstrate that now. that time I was playing more. I'm playing a lot of notes, and he's going. So he's holding it down. He's staying home. He's staying home in the house, and I'm going. You know, so I'm able to get real busy. So those are the two examples of that: following and leading and taking turns. So you see how now it's tighter, right? Dum dum dang, dum dum. We tightened it up. We found a way to make that groove more happening. Okay? So that's kind of what I do all the time. Whenever I got my bass in my hands and I'm playing with a drummer, and I play with a lot of guys that I've never worked with. I mean, I play with guys that I do work with regularly, but oftentimes I'll get hired for a job and I only have a split second to kind of become acquainted with the drummer that I'm working with. So I have to listen and watch and really connect with him. And you know, I'm talking to you now, but when we were playing, I had my back turned to you because I was looking at him in the eyes. You know, I'm making eye contact. That's one of the most important things about musicianship, about respectful musicianship, is that you have to communicate with the other musicians. You can't be like this. You know, you can't be looking at your feet, because the other guy across the stage is going, hey. So it's all about keeping your chin up and looking around the stage and communicating with your eyes, communicating with your instrument, and listening. You know, really making a conscious effort to listen to everything that's happening on the stage. You know, musicians have a tendency that one guy plays this loud, so then this guy plays this loud, and then this guy plays this loud, and then he can't hear himself, so then he plays this loud. And pretty soon everybody's like yelling at each other. That's what it sounds like. Musically, everyone's yelling at each other. Instead of having like kind of a medium place, and then when you want to be aggressive, get loud, but then come back. Get loud, come back. And sometimes come way down here like this. And then come back to medium. You know, this is called dynamics. So one of the most powerful things in music is the ability to get soft and then come back to this medium place, this comfortable medium place. And then when you really want to get powerful and have a lot of energy, get loud, come back. The ability to use the dynamics, lots of different volume places, is going to be a really, really good thing. So if there's a singer in the band, you have to make that the priority. The singer is the priority, and the band is there to support the vocal. That's the most important part. You know, generally that's the most important part. It should be, you know. And we can get, as with, you know, depending on the style of music that you're playing, some music is just loud and aggressive and everything is loud, and that's just the way it is and that's the way it's supposed to be. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But even in that context, even Pantera or Metallica or any of those guys, when they're playing super heavy and super loud, everybody can hear each other. So I have all the different dynamics within the control of my hand. I'm not constantly, you know, adjusting the instrument. It's all right there. And I can go to all those different dynamic places. Most of that comes from listening. You know, when it's time to listen, I can ease up. You know, I can ease up a little bit so I can hear what's going on. And then once I'm confident and I really know where the time is, then I can dig in harder. You could take a really skilled musician who might think that punk is very unsophisticated or whatever, and try and get them to play punk, and they would suck at it. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't be able to do it right because they don't live punk. You have to live what you are. You know what I mean? So a punk rock musician has got the attitude that matches the music. You have to bring the attitude to the game that matches the game. It's not a matter of being a great player. It's about the attitude being right. Most of my musicianship comes from me. It doesn't matter what kind of guitar you have. You know what I mean? A good guitar is going to be easier to play. You know, probably. But it's going to maybe have the strings will be able to be lower, and it might have a good, more rich tone or something like that. But I can play a bass that for $15 that from a yard sale and sound like me. You know what I mean? Most of it's coming from the musician. The music comes from the musician, not from the instrument is just a tool. It's a vehicle. If you have to practice a lot in order to get good at your instrument. You can't just get a $5,000 guitar and think that you can all of a sudden play like Steve Vai or something like that. You have to practice slowly, and over time you build up your skill. You know, it's like that with anything. You know, what really helps is to have some structure to your learning. You know, a teacher that you work with consistently over time. You can gain lots of different things from lots of different places. But the most progress in musicianship comes from structured learning. In the past, you'd go to music school, right? Music college. But the thing about music college is that can be, have limited potential too, because a lot of what is taught in music college is the same stuff that's been taught for 500 years, right? Things are different now, right? I always encourage players to take as much from all the different places as they can, but have a teacher. Have a guitar teacher, or a bass teacher, or a drum teacher, and take lessons as consistently as you can, and work with structure, make goals that are based on improving your musical understanding. And that means your musical understanding of theoretic things, you know, the theory of music, that's important to know, but it's also just as important to learn about feel, and about improvising, and about becoming an individual player. Oftentimes, musicians will find one player who is their idol, and they'll learn everything about that player. And sometimes they just become like this, like a tunnel vision, you know? They have blinders on. They like Slash, for example. I don't know why I said that, but for a guitar player. And they only see Slash, they only hear Slash, and they can play Slash perfect. But they can't play anything else except for Slash. They're not themselves, they're just a robot that can play just like Slash can play. That's not going to be rewarding for very long. It will be rewarding for a little while, because you can play along to the Slash records and you can enjoy that. But there will come a time when only knowing all the Slash stuff won't make you feel complete as a musician. So it's important to start developing your own personal style right from the beginning. The best way that I can encourage you to create your own style is to listen to a lot of different types of music, okay? That's kind of my suggestion, is to don't wear the blinders, you know, like, you know, a horse in the street. Sometimes you see a horse in the street, he's got the blinders on his eyes. This is to keep him just going in one direction and to not be distracted by anything else that's going on around him. Too many musicians put those blinders on themselves, and they just can only see one thing. If you take the blinders off, you can see the whole panoramic of what music has to offer. The sooner that any musician can grow up as a musician and expand their appreciation for lots of different kinds of music, the faster they're going to improve, and the more well-rounded musician they're going to become. That's my advice.